Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we shall treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the bell for 10 minutes. The speaker of the name has to this from that bill. Sergeant at arms, we extend for another further 5 minutes. Honorable members, we have the quorum to start the business of the day.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Deputy Leader of the Majority. Honorable Mbaya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this morning I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, morning sitting. Reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2021, 30th June 2022, 30th June 2023, and the certificates therein in respect of 1. Makueni Boys High School, 2. Ololaisa High School, 3. St. Teresa Mbooni Girls High School, 4. Gashororo Mixed Secondary School, 5. Meru School, 6. Chogoria Girls High School, 7. Karima Mixed Secondary School, 8. Kathiani Girls High School, 9. Magereza Academy Secondary School, 10. Kiambogo Secondary School, 11. St. Cecilia Aluor Girls Secondary School, 12. Irigathathi Secondary School, 13. Othaya Boys High School, and 14. Kiambogo Secondary School. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Thank you. Honorable Owen. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, before we go to the questions and statements, allow me to reorganize the order paper so that we go to order number 8, then revert back to order number 7. Order number 8.
Order number 8, motion. Report of the Committee of the Whole House in the Community Health Workers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2022.
Honorable members, I therefore put the question that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Community Health Workers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2022. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover of the bill, kindly move third reading in the amended form.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the Community Health Promoters Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2022 be now read a third time, and I also request Honorable our Chair, Dr. Pokose, to second.
Honorable Pokose.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I have confirmed that we have the requisite quorum for the purpose of this decision. I therefore put the question, which is that the Community Health Promoters Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2022, be now read a third time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to regulate the practice of community health promoters, to make provision for the training and registration of community health promoters, to establish the Community Health Promoters Council, and for connected purposes.
We revert back to order number 7.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
The first question is as listed on the order paper by Honorable Peter Locha Kapong. Member for Sigor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's actually not a question, but a request for a statement.
Yes, statement.
Now, Honorable Speaker, this is a request for a statement regarding killing of livestock by security officers in West Pokot County. Now, Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, now I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding the killing of livestock by security officers in West Pokot County. Now, Honorable Speaker, there has been rampant cases of livestock killings in West Pokot County that has affected the residents, including 3 cases that were reported earlier. Now, on Tuesday, 15 October 2024, 2 herders were injured and rushed to Kapenguria Referral District Hospital after a multi-agency team of security officers led by Kenya Defense Forces engaged in a security operation in Amolem village in West Pokot County. Now, the 2 herders were injured after the security officers mistook them as bandits and opened fire and 3 grenades at them. Additionally, numerous livestock were injured and 13 cows belonging to Mr. Kokat Lochelpong Aleutum Aletom of ID number 7686375 killed during the raid. Now, Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following. 1, an explanation on the circumstances that led to the injury of the 2 residents and killing of livestock by a grenade used by the security officers. 2, a report on the measures the government has put in place to protect the residents, including taking action against those found to be culpable of the crime. Now, 3, relief measures and any compensation plan that the government is putting in place to support the victims. And 4, Honorable Speaker, measures in place to ensure now the security agencies operating among communities establish structures and mechanisms of obtaining information that aids in providing security. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The chair had indicated is engaged in ministry function. Honorable Kwenya.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to respond on behalf of the Chair and assure the Honourable Member that this matter is going to be forwarded to the relevant ministry, that Ministry of Defence, and response should be expected within 14 days. Thank you, Chair.
In the next 2 weeks, next is the member for Bumula, Honorable Wamboka. If not in the House, we shall go to the responses, starting with the Committee of Defence. Again, Honorable Kwenya.
Thank you, Chair. I have responses to statements that were requested by the member for Mwala first.
Begin as in the order paper. Start with the Honorable Felix Odiwuor.
Oh, thank you, Chair. I start with one that was requested by the member for Langata, the Honorable Felix Odiwuor, alias Jalas Jalango, on the issue of he sought statement regarding the current management and public access to Uhuru Gardens. Madam Speaker, the member for Langata constituency, the Honorable Felix Odiwuor MP, sought for statement pursuant to Standing Order 44.2c regarding the current management and public access to Uhuru Gardens. He specifically raised the following concerns in his request for statement: clarification on whether Uhuru Gardens will remain an open public space as was earlier, or has become a space of controlled visits and access. B, a report on the status of completion of renovations of Uhuru Gardens by the Kenya Defence Forces, and when will the public be granted access. Then C, the reasons for permission of certain activities at Uhuru Gardens where the general public is denied access. And D, plans in place to ensure that Uhuru Gardens is listed on e-citizen platforms, specifically the 222 portal, to allow citizens to make payments or bookings for public access and events, thus ensuring accountability and transparency. Honorable Speaker, the committee engaged the Ministry of Defence on the above concerns raised by the Honorable Felix Odiwuor, MP. I therefore wish to respond to the issues as follows. Clarifications on the public access to Uhuru Gardens. The ministry confirmed that Uhuru Gardens remains a public space. However, it was closed for renovations. Once these works are completed, the gardens will reopen to the public. The facility includes a museum and open spaces, the priority given to completing the main stadium, which is already hosting events including national celebrations. Other areas, including museum galleries, remain under construction and will open once fully completed. On the status of renovations and timelines for public access, the ministry stated that the project is approximately 80% complete, with artifacts and exhibition components of 60% completion. While full access will be granted upon the completion of the project, a partial opening to select groups to allow for system testing. The ministry assured that the project will fully reopen when construction is concluded and exhibition content for galleries are adequate. On provision for activities amid limited public access, the ministry clarified that although the project is not fully completed, certain sections such as the main stadium and the tomb of the unknown warriors are complete. The complete areas are open to the public whenever required, noting that the ministry allows members of the public to use the main stadium on request. Several events have been held at the venue, including national celebrations and Standard Chartered Marathon. The tomb of the unknown warrior regarded as a sacred site, is available for dignitaries to honor fallen heroes through wreath-laying ceremonies. Then on listing on e-citizen platform, the ministry confirmed that Uhuru Gardens Museum and Monument will be listed on the e-citizen platform once the project is completed and commissioned. This is in line with the government policy, and the ministry assured compliance with the requirement to enable payments and bookings, ensuring accountability and transparency. I submit. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Jalas, are you satisfied?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are satisfied with these answers and we accept.
Thank you. Next response, Honorable Kwenya, to the member for Mwala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is response to a request for statement by the Honorable Vincent Musyoka, MP Mwala constituency, regarding the mysterious death of Mr. William Alfred Mulwa Mutilangi in the United States of America. Honorable Speaker, the Member of Parliament for Mwala constituency, the Honorable Engineer Vincent Musyoka, MP, sought for a statement pursuant to Standing Orders 44.2c on the mysterious death of Mr. William Alfred Mulwa Mutilangi. He specifically raised the following concerns in his request for statement: the status of investigations into the suspicious hospitalization, mysterious death, and hurried cremation of Mr. Mutalangi in the USA under the power of attorney by Kahodho and advocates under unclear circumstances without involvement of the family of the deceased. B, the steps taken by the government to ensure that all the perpetrators of the death and the issuers of the suspicious power of attorney for the cremation of Mr. Mutilangi are brought to book and prosecuted. C, the actions taken by the government to ensure that Mr. Mutalangi's family is protected from threats by persons likely to be associated with his death, including securing them from being disinherited of the estate of their deceased kin. And D, measures taken by the government to ensure that all Kenyans who die in the diaspora are well preserved and their remains efficiently transported back to their families if they so wish. Honorable Speaker, the committee engaged the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs on the above concerns raised by the Honorable Vincent Musyoka. I therefore wish to respond to the issues as follows. Honorable Speaker, the State Department of Foreign Affairs received an official request from family of the late Mr. Alfred William Mutilangi, seeking assistance in locating him in New York City. This request followed a notification from the family and from a family acquaintance, Mr. Ndambuki, regarding Mr. Mutilangi's death on the 16th October 2023 at Hudson Valley Hospital, that is in New York. The family requested that the department confirm the death of Mr. Mutilangi. In the location and condition of his remains and obtained contact information for his at his son's request. The funeral home, however, declined to disclose the specific cause of death, citing that data protection concerns. To maintain client confidentiality, the funeral home indicated that it would only communicate with a legally appointed family representative. This information was relayed to Mr. Mutilangi family through Mr. Vincent Mutilangi. Attempts to gather additional information from PepsiCo regarding Mr. Mutilangi's employment were unsuccessful. PepsiCo indicated that conflicting claims from individuals claiming to be family members had made it difficult for them to disclose any information, save to a duly appointed legal representative. Consequently, the State Department advised the family to initiate succession, cause and obtain letters of administration for an appointed administrator, Mr. Mutilangi's estate, to directly engage the funeral home and his employer. Further investigations revealed that Mr. Mutilangi may not have maintained a close relationship with his immediate family in Kenya. His family was unaware of his illness, and admission to hospice came until after his death. It also emerged that Mr. Mutilangi may have had a family, including a son and a wife, reportedly of Tanzanian nationality, a fact disputed by his Kenyan family. These family dynamics necessitated legal intervention, rendering the matter outside the scope of the embassy involvement. The inquiries conducted by the State Department thus confirmed Mr. Mutilangi's family and the cremation of his remains. That is, let me take it again. The inquiries conducted by the State Department thus confirmed Mr. Mutilangi's death and the cremation of his remains. However, due to conflicting claims from various parties whose interests could not be verified, certain details, including the precise cause of death, information on his next of kin, and his dues from PepsiCo could not be ascertained. The complex family circumstances and involvement of multiple interested parties further complicated the situation. Following the guidance of the State Department, the family of Mr. Mutilangi has filed a case in New York. I submit, and I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Mwala, is that the true status?
You know, Honorable Speaker, this is what would be clearly called just a catwalk story, because I think I have been told nothing new. The ministry is just basically repeating the preliminary information that I had given them so that they can do investigation. Mr. Mutilangi has a family here in Kenya. Mr. Mutilangi is a guy who was not married. That complicates the situation. There are people who have been preying on, criminals who have been preying on Mr. Mutilangi's and taking advantage of the fact that he did not have an immediate family in the US. It is feared that these same people claiming to be family who have since run away and actually revoked their earlier statements that they were indeed family. These are the same people feared to have killed or murdered Mutilangi. As we speak, Mutilangi's family here in Kenya, they have not even buried their beloved son. Mutilangi has a brother, Mutilangi has a family in my constituency. They are yet to bury their beloved one. Why? Because they cannot even get access, they cannot even get visa to collect the remains of their beloved one who was burned down to ashes illegally by some criminals who now the ministry is just giving us stories. I think with all fairness, I do not think the family is getting justice with this response. The fourth part of my question, Honorable Speaker, was what action is being taken by ministries so that such cases, even the deceased persons, can be taken back to this country, can be transported back to this country. And the family has not even been, with so many requests, they have written even to the embassy, they've been given appointments, they have been denied visas to go and collect the ashes so that they can bury Mutilangi according to our customs. So, Madam Speaker, I fear that this particular statement does not, I do not even know what this statement seeks to advise the family to do. Because it is full of hearsay. It is claiming that it is said. It was heard that maybe he has another family. Why didn't you investigate to know whether that other family exists or not? Because that is why the highest office we have is that office now of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Since what you are telling us is what we know, we expected that. Now you'll go to the extra step and tell us.
Let us not debate it further. Seek clarification.
Madam Speaker,
just seek clarification.
there is really nothing to seek clarification on a matter that is not even responded to.
I have given you quite some
Thank
time to put your issues. Then we hear from the committee on the way forward. Honorable Kwenya.
Thank you, Chair. I really empathize and sympathize with the situation of the family. In fact, the issues they have raised are pertinent, but I think because we sat as a committee and engaged the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, and the matter was brought to our committee, and yes, the issue that you're raising in terms of that the family has not had their share of justice, we found out that they have filed a case in New York that is ongoing. And I think it's only fair that the honorable member acquaints himself with the content of the case, so that then he can assist the family to just get justice from that end. Because as it is, the deceased had a will, or had died at some what I would call tested death. He had stated that in the event that he passes on, he should be cremated. And the government of Kenya is very keen on issues to do with people who passed on out of its jurisdiction. Our embassies have been very proactive to help families. They're always in contact with families to help them to transport their deceased to whatever side they would want them buried. But now, where there's a will of someone, of what someone would want to be done to them once they pass on, then the government there's nothing much that they can do. But in terms of investigating this matter, because now it's actively in court, I believe the best thing that the honorable member for Mwala should do is just to acquaint himself with the content of the case and maybe support the family where need be. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Mwala.
Maybe, Honorable Speaker, I'm not very good in legal matters, but I just wanted to know. So, Kenyan citizens in the US, they must seek justice in the US? Because now what you're telling me is that the only way out for this family is to seek justice in the US when they cannot even travel to the US because they have been denied visas to the US. Who is supposed to come in for this family? We need to understand what we should tell the family, whether that's it for Kenya now. They are on their own. They go to the US, and also tell us if you have any plans to assist the family to get the remains of the ashes to this country for the burial. That's what we want to know.
Honorable Kwenya. Wait, there's a point of order from Honorable Rasso.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the ping pong we are hearing between the two members, somebody dies in a foreign jurisdiction. That does not fall within the realm of the Kenyan courts. What the Foreign Affairs is advising is exactly what Honorable Kwenya there is saying. This individual died while he has a will. It's not just any other thing. There is a will. So the will of a person who has died must be respected, whether it is in Kenya or whether it is in that foreign jurisdiction. What Honorable Kawaya here should be asking through the committee, the Foreign Affairs, is how they will try to intervene so that the disease is interned in the custom of their community. And there is only so much that the Kenya government can do to help that situation, because I think it's more complicated than we are hearing just for the exchanges between the two individuals. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
This will be a final chance, Honorable Kwenya, to make any further, which is different from what you've already said.
Thank you, Chair. You know, there's something that the Honorable MP from Mwala is raising.
They are the authors of that response. So when you say they don't understand, then it contradicts.
In which
But
case, the substantive speaker has ruled in the past that any chair presenting any matter here must first satisfy themselves that it represents the truth with the ministry. He is responding to this as the cabinet secretary. And I'm just saying that there is nothing in this statement. There seems to be so much they do not know. No investigation has been given to these allegations, which still remain allegations. And we are asking, if they still remain allegations, who is then supposed to unearth the allegations? Because if we say that's it, then what are we advising the family to do?
Member from Mwala, before I give you Honorable Makali, I think we have gotten now to conflicting issues. You have brought the issue of murder, which is not come out from the statement, because from the statement they have said he died in the hospice. Chronic illness in the hospice, and he had already written down his will. But let me indulge Honorable Makali Mulu, then we will make progress from here.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. You know, Honorable Speaker, listening to the Honorable Kawai and the representative of the chair, it is obvious that they will not get a solution in this sitting. Because, Honorable Speaker, the statement which has been read is actually a statement but I'm on a point of order. How do you ask a point of order when someone is on a point of order?
Continue, Honorable Makali.
I thought CNN is a ranking member. You still... So, Honorable Speaker, what I wanted to say is this. I think if we are just to assist Honorable Member from Mwala, is that maybe the chair could facilitate a meeting where they call the PS and the Honorable Member from Mwala attends. Because I think the kind of questions asking will be answered by the minister. Otherwise, my friend here, Honorable Thuku, can never answer some of those questions. I wish it was a question other than a statement, because a statement is written. So the chair can only read a statement for you, and that is the end of the story. But if they can facilitate a meeting,
thank you,
I think they will be able to help the member.
I think that is the route we will take. And Honorable Mwala, member for Mwala, I agree with Honorable Makali that we will not get a solution from this statement. So I would propose that the chair of the committee and not propose, direct that the chair of the committee recalls the Minister of Foreign Affairs, whether the cabinet, Prime Cabinet Secretary and the PS for Foreign Affairs, and call you for the meeting so that you're also present. These questions should be better answered by the ministry themselves. Honorable Kwenya, guided.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the guidance. Indeed, this family needs closure to this matter, and therefore we'll endeavor to do whatever it is that is within our purview and responsibility just to bring this matter to rest. I'll communicate the same to the chair of our committee. Thank you, Chair.
That is well guided. Next question, next statement from the chair, Energy. You are on the other side now to respond to Honorable Makali Mulu.
No, things change so fast. Now I'm on the on the frying pan. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member Makali Mulu requested for a statement regarding the status of compensation to Master Simon A. Muema for injuries sustained following electrocution from Kenya power lines. Honorable Speaker, the response we have gotten from the ministry, we do not satisfy ourselves that it really helps anyone, and we'll be seeking your guidance on how to prosecute that matter further. Honorable Speaker, this is a response that Master Simon Muema suffered electrical burns at Chedani village in Mwingi on 17th December 2017 while playing with part of vandalized stay wire that was attached to a pole with electrical conductors. In the course of playing with the remaining part of the stay wire came into contact with a low voltage LV line causing it to be energized. The responses are as follows. The incident was duly reported to Kenya Power, Mwingi office on 20th December 2019 and the insurance department on 12th August 2020. The matter was subsequently reported to the insurers, CIC Insurance Company Limited, through Utmost Insurance Brokers Limited. B, the insurers have since indicated that they are unable to take up the matter since Master Muema, who was playing with the stay wire, is the one who caused it to be energized when it swung against the LV line. KPLC has asked the insurance company to review its decision, but they have declined to pay the claim, also citing expiry of limitation period. In this regard, Kenya Power and Lighting Company has referred the matter to the regulator to review and enable its logical conclusion. And Honorable Speaker, and like I said, this particular response unearths a new potential area of corruption where some of our sagas are actually reaping a lot of money through insurance firms. And when the cases now come, the insurance firms do not want to take liability, they want to run away. In this particular case, it is sad that the insurance and Kenya Power want to claim that a low-hanging wire that a kid touched and they got electrocuted, then the kid is the author of his own misfortune. It is very sad that even with simple understanding that it is supposed to be understood that wires are not supposed to be loosely hanging in the first place. So the fact that the wire was loosely hanging, that is already a liability on the Kenya Power's. So the matter is already referred to the regulator, but as a committee, we have resolved to have even including the insurers and also make an audit of all the monies that have been paid to these insurance firms and the claims so far that have materialized that be paid, so that we can also be able to tell Kenyans that the money is being paid by our sagas to insurance firms actually means something. Because if this particular case has not been taken by insurance firm, it means no other case would ever be taken, because this is the very first case that should have been paid in terms of liabilities.
Member for Kitui Central.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the chairperson of that committee, for admitting that this statement is totally inadequate. When I looked at this statement, Honorable Speaker, I was just asking myself whether Kenya Power knows what they should be doing. Because on a serious note, when you say that a child was playing at the gate of a primary school and finds a loose hanging wire, which is life, and by touching that wire suffer serious injuries, and they say the child was the cause of that injury. So, Honorable Speaker, from what the chair said, that was my position, that this statement should not even have been presented to this House. It's actually a shame that somebody signed for this statement to come to this House. The other thing they're also saying, the insurance cannot be able to pay because of a lapsed time. This matter was reported immediately it happened. And it is because of the delay of Kenya Power taking the family round, that we have spent all this time. Since 2017, Honorable Speaker, about 7 years. And then they talk about a lapsed time. I agree with the chair, this matter needs to be revisited, and we need to get justice for this young person. Otherwise, it's already the small boy is now disabled, and then you want to make it worse by even saying you cannot compensate. I want to, Madam Speaker, you need to give direction on this matter, because we are not happy, and even the House should be able to act on this institution, because I think this statement is an abuse to this House. I submit.
Honorable Vincent, I think the precedent has been set by your issue. So you should be able to, first of all, when you follow up that issue, you invite Honorable Makali to be present, to be able to execute and prosecute the issues that are still pending. But as you have said, it is not sufficient. You can give the commitment from here on how long you will need and what action you will take.
Honorable Speaker, this matter is not a small one, because it might even form an inquiry, because we want to know if a claim like this cannot be paid, then what other claims have not been paid? How much money have we been paying? So I would request that we are given enough time so that we can do a full inquiry on this particular matter, because it affects so many other Kenyans. So if, Honorable Speaker, you can give us 1 month, I will be more than happy, so that we can, this matter will also end up helping other Kenyans who are suffering in the hands of insurers and Kenya Power and other sagas. And I want to make an undertaking to this House. If this particular claim is not paid, then we will make recommendations that are carried in this House, that some of these payments for insurance for this particular, to cover this kind of issues, and no longer have any meaning, because
Honorable Member for Mwala, don't preempt your investigations.
I just wanted to give the member confidence, but 1 month?
Yeah, don't preempt.
Yes.
Honorable Makali.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this family has been waiting for 7 years. It will not cost us nothing to wait for 1 month, so long as we get to the final conclusion of this matter.
Well,
so 1 month is okay with us.
Honorable Member for Mwala, 1 month. The next statement is to the member for Loima. Is he in the House? Protus, is he in the House? If the member is not in the House, then the statement will be tabled, not read, so that we make progress. Chair for Energy, table the statement for Honorable Protus. Member for Lunga, Honorable Chiforomondo, are you in the House? This will be done by the Chair Labour, the response.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And this is a response to a request for a statement by the Honorable Chiforomondo Mangale, MP Lunga constituency, regarding the gazettement of Lunga sub-county as a hardship area. Honorable Speaker, I thank you for this chance. and the honorable member sought a response to the following issues. One, the measures put in place by the Ministry of Public Service and Human Capital Development to ensure the gazettement of Lunga Lunga sub-county as a hardship area and provide details on timelines to be taken for gazettement of the area. Two, the reasons why there has been delay in implementation of the recommendation of the inter-agency committee that Lunga Lunga sub-county be gazetted as a hardship area. And three, a report on the progress, if any, by the ministry to implement the proposal for gazettement of the area. One, Honorable Speaker, prior to 1997, the civil and teaching service and similar designated hardship areas, which included the former Northeastern Province, including Wajir, Madera, Garissa, Samburu, Isiolo, Lamu, Marsabit, Tana River, West Pokot, Turkana, and northern area of Baringo. This comprised of 11 fairly distinct hardship areas. Designation of such areas was undertaken in consultation with the Office of the President, the Directorate of Personnel Management and Provincial Administration and Internal Security. In 1997, the Minister for Education, through legal notice number 534 of 11th November 1997, gazetted an additional 25 hardship areas for the teaching service, following a recommendation by the Teacher Service Remuneration Committee. And in 2005, the number of designated hardship areas for the teaching service was increased from 36 to the current 44, as indicated in the appendix that is attached here, and that I will share, and I believe he has or he should have. Then currently, the civil service, the national and the county government has 16 designated hardship areas as shown in a document that is attached to the one that I have, while the judiciary has 21 areas designated as hardship areas based on location of the law courts shown in another document that is attached with me here. Honorable Speaker, the government through the ministry responsible for public service, taking cognizance of the existing disparities in designated hardship areas in the public service, continued an interagency technical committee in the month of March 2019. The committee comprised of representatives from the Ministry of Public Service, Gender, Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, Ministry of Education, the National Treasury and Planning, Public Service Commission, Teacher Service Commission, Commission on Revenue Allocation, Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC, Council of Governors, and the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Honorable Speaker, the Interagency Technical Committee undertook countrywide field visits and surveys and prepared a report for cabinet approval and gazettement. Then, Honorable Speaker, the Lunga Lunga sub-county is currently not designated as a hardship area for purpose of payment of hardship allowance. Lunga Lunga sub-county was visited by the Interagency Technical Committee during the data collection exercise and will be assessed against the criteria set by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics to guide the determination and the categorization of hardship areas as shown in Appendix 2 of the ministry response. Now, Honorable Speaker, on the response to the second question, which was the reasons why there has been delay in the implementation of the recommendation, the gazettement of the hardship area and the implementation of the designated hardship areas will be undertaken upon approval by the cabinet. So that is yet to be approved. Then on the third and the last question, which was on the report on the progress, if any, the interagency team finalized the study and submitted a report to the ministry responsible for public service. The report was submitted to the National Treasury, which advised that the approval of the proposed hardship allowance be sought from the Salaries and the Remuneration Commission. The SRC reviewed and approved the new rates for hardship allowance based on the new categorization of the moderate and extreme hardship areas, which will be applicable across the entire public service prior to implementation of the new rates and subsequent approval by the Cabinet. So, Honorable Speaker, with me, I have the hard copy of the response, and this is what we gathered from the Ministry of Public Service. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Lunga Lunga.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the chair for the response. But, Honorable Speaker, it is disheartening that at this era and time, the ministry is still responding to such a serious issue, which, to me, since the independence of this country, Lunga Lunga has been there. And they have alluded that in 2019, they formed an interagency team which also visited Lunga Lunga. 2019 to date, Madam Speaker, is a very long time. And I want to say that the teachers of Lunga Lunga and the public servants who serve the people of Lunga Lunga are in dire need of this allowance. Today, those teachers who are teaching in Mkwiro and Wasin Islands, they do struggle to assess their working stations. As we speak, the areas of Magombani, the areas of Mtsunga, Mwakalanga, the areas of Kwanyanje, they are inaccessible because there are elephants there. The area is dry, and so many other issues which affect the teachers of those areas, of Lunga Lunga at large. I want to say, Madam Speaker, that we needed a much more practical response than this one. Of course, we anticipated and expected that the ministry would tell us when they are going to gazette Lunga Lunga sub-county as a hardship area. Because one, we've been here in this house that we discuss or we pass an issue, and then the same day or the next day, it is being gazetted. What makes it very hard for the gazettement of Lunga Lunga to be a hardship area? What is so hard?
That is your clarification. Don't debate more than that.
I'm not debating, Madam Speaker, but we are not getting what we deserve as Lunga Lunga people.
I hear you. There is a point of order from member for Buri.
Madam Speaker, I know sometimes this year, this matter of hardship came up and the Speaker ruled that it is a motion because almost every constituency and raised the same issue on hardship. And I'm sure, Madam Speaker, your memory is correct because I've seen you agreement by the fact that you have nodded your head. Madam Speaker, this report is substandard because it does not give out where they went, when, who they spoke to, because we expect to see them in Ibori, which borders like Kipia and Isiolo, and we share the same geographical conditions. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this report to me is substandard, and to need to begin that report so that we can know where the interagency committee did. And I want to ask you that what the Speaker, the direction the Speaker gave, it is implemented so that we can all contribute on this.
Thank you. The reason I'm nodding my head, member for Buri, is because I know this issue too well, because it was raised even for Gilgil this term, last term, so I've seen it over and over. I'll give member for Kaloleni first. Member for Kaloleni.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also raised a similar question in March, and the Speaker gave directions that the Leader of Majority was supposed to consult with the ministry so that they could give a comprehensive report on how some constituencies were left out, yet they are supposed to be included in the, gazetted as a hardship areas. So Kaloleni was one of them. Maybe, Speaker, you could give direction to, or direct the leader of majority to tell us how far has he gone with the direction which was given by the Speaker, so that this matter can be concluded. Because almost all constituencies across the country are suffering. So they should be also included as hardship areas, so that our teachers, our civil servants who are working in these areas can be given hardship allowances. Thank you.
The leader of majority, Honorable Mbaya, I hope you are listening, because this issue, every time the question comes, it becomes a cross-cutting issue from all the constituency or majority of the constituencies. So I would be hoping that you have that report as guided by the Speaker, but on this one was specific to Lunga Lunga. It is only now spilling out to other constituencies. I'll give member for Endebess, then member for Jomvu.
Madam Speaker, thank you. And I want to thank the Honorable Jifaramondo, member for Lunga Lunga, for raising this matter. Honorable Speaker, I think year in, year out, we've actually been raising this. And as you are aware, Endebess constituency borders West Pokot, which is a hardship area. Then you wonder, somebody who is working in Endebess is not qualified to get hardship area allowance, just the same as somebody who is in West Pokot or Kapenguria constituency, my neighbor, Honorable Moroto. So I had a proposal, Honorable Speaker, that if the member for Runyenjes, not Runyenjes, or Runyenjes, yes, the Honorable Karemba, the chair for Labour, if he could be able to maybe have a way of how all the other constituencies can be captured. And then he does a follow-up for gazettement of, because it's just a question of gazettement. Once they are gazetted, then we can have the ministry implement it. Because even if we ask the leader of majority, it is easier for Honorable Kalemba to follow it up and have our constituencies gazetted. No, it's not a wrong approach, my friend. Rindigiri, protect me, Madam Speaker, from...
Address the chair.
Protect me from Honorable Rindigiri.
Address the Speaker.
You know, since Honorable Rindigiri got the deputy presidency, he now imagines himself that he can give orders. You know, you have to be humble, Honorable Rindigiri. You have to be humble. I was asking Honorable Speaker if Honorable Karemba can have our constituencies so that it is captured and gazetted, so that we can have it followed to be implemented. Because we'll always be crying and making these requests, and yet nothing happens. That is my appeal, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Jomvu.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, nasimama kuunga mkono kwa hoja hii specifically kwa Lunga Lunga. Kusema kwa Lunga Lunga najua, na Mheshimiwa Jiforomodo yale ambayo amesema ni kweli, kwa sababu tukiangalia Lunga Lunga ni hardship area, ama ni area ambayo iko na matatizo sana. Hata vile vile ndugu yangu Katana alivyosema, nataka kuungana kusema kwa Jomvu kuna mahali kunaitwa Miroroni, ambako huko kuna boda Kaloleni, ambako Mheshimiwa Katana amesema, na Rabai pia vile vile amesema. Kwa hivyo naomba Mheshimiwa Speaker, Mheshimiwa Owen Baya, kiongozi wetu, afanye bidii kuona kuwa area zote ambazo zimetajwa ziweze kuwa specified kama hardship areas. Unaona kama Mombasa kuna sehemu zina shida kubwa sana, lakini watu wakiangalia mahoteli, watu wakiangalia vile hali ilivyo, wanaona Mombasa ni mahali kwa starehe na hali watu maisha ni ngumu. Tujumuishwe kama hardship areas ama sehemu ambazo zina hali ngumu, na sisi tupate manufaa kama Jomvu. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Asante sana. Mbunge wa kuteuliwa Dorothy Muthoni.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the matter at hand is a very emotive issue because it has been canvassed in this House for the longest time. Honorable Speaker, I thank the MP for Rungarunga, for bringing up this matter, but this is a matter that touches on almost all the constituencies which are hardship areas. Honorable Speaker, the Teachers Service Commission, especially in the matter of teachers, has for a long time been not able to resolve this issue. And this is why some areas are seriously understaffed, Honorable Speaker, because the neighboring constituency is a hardship area and the neighboring school is not a hardship area. Honorable Speaker, I wish that this matter is time-bound so that we don't canvass this matter in this house again. Honorable Speaker, let the committee and the chair seated here, the chair Reba, it is unfair labor practices when some people enjoy a facility that is given by the government and other people in the neighboring deserving constituencies don't get the same treatment. Honorable Speaker, rule on this matter. Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, we have canvassed on this issue not once, not just in this term, even last term, those who are there, even the other term. So I'll give the leader of majority on this one. Honorable Owen Baya, because it had been directed by the Speaker that there was to be a team to undertake that exercise. You give and update the House. How far has that gone? When is the report expected, and when is the action expected?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I know this is a very emotive, cross-cutting issue, and it is an issue that affects many people, because even when people talk about hardship areas, there's also the new element that has come in, municipalities, enhanced house allowances for municipalities. So it is an area that cuts across the whole country. And it is important, Honorable Speaker, that we get a comprehensive statement from the Minister in charge of public service. I think there has been consultation with former Speaker Justin Muturi to ensure that this matter is comprehensively done. So what I would like to request Parliament is that we be patient as I ask how soon the Minister will avail that statement to the House, a statement which is in the works. Honorable Speaker, I would like to beg the indulgence of members and yourself on this matter. I thank you.
This issue has been pending, Honorable Maya. It would be very unprofessional to not put a timeline to it, because it is urgent and it is important. So could you do that before we break for recess in the next 2 weeks?
We will do it before recess.
In the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Member for Lunga Lunga, is it different?
Madam Speaker, the issue here is about the report to be taken to the President Cabinet and then gazettement. So it's not about us being brought statements and all that. It needs to be approved by the Cabinet and also be gazetted. And it will be done because the report is already there as per the explanation from the chair. Thank you.
Chair for Labour, Honorable Karemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I think it's good to separate issues, Honorable Speaker, because as per the request by the Honorable Member for Lunga Lunga, the report is already there. It is for that report to be taken to the Cabinet, as he is saying. But with regard to the other report, I think you've pronounced yourself on that matter, and it's now upon the leader of majority to do as you have directed. But I wish to say to Honorable Speaker that I register their disappointments by the Honorable members, and I agree totally with the Honorable members who believe that that is an unfair labor practice where people are enjoying facilities and privileges because of working in a hardship area while others are not enjoying. So Honorable members should expect that the committee will also register your disappointments with the ministry for action, and we believe that it should not take long because, again, from 2019, that's a long duration. Things should have happened. We want to be in a country where things move without unnecessary delays. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We shall make progress, members. We have the commitment from the leader of majority and the commitment from the chair Labour Committee. So we'll go to the next statement by Honorable Joshua Kandie, still by the member for Labour. by the Chair for Labour Committee.
Honorable Speaker, there is a pressing issue here, but I think he will execute it some other time. So, Honorable Speaker, the other statement is a response to a request for a statement by the Honorable Joshua Kandie, member from Baringo Central constituency, regarding the regulation of labor migration through private recruitment agencies. Honorable Speaker, the questions were, the statement is based on the questions that were asked, and one question was, what are the roles of the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection in registration and regulation of private recruitment agencies involved in labor migration? And then the second question was, how does the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection work with the State Department for Diaspora Affairs in regulating labor migration sector while ensuring that the State Department does not encroach on the roles of the ministry? And 2 and 3, why and how do private recruitment agencies banned by the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection continue to recruit migrant workers? Honorable Speaker, the registration and regulation of private recruitment agencies is done in accordance with the Labor Institutions Act of 2007 and Private Employment Agencies Regulation of 2016. Section 54A of the Article Act provides for the establishment of the Interministerial Committee consisting of officers from 1, the Ministry responsible for immigration, the Ministry responsible for labor, the Ministry responsible for internal security, the Attorney General, and the Ministry responsible for foreign affairs. The officer from the Ministry responsible for labor shall be the chairperson of the Interministerial Committee. And then Section 54B provides for the functions of the Interministerial Committee. And the Interministerial Committee is responsible for the following: 1, advising the CS responsible for labor on matters related to work permits, security, and the related issues. Then 2, vetting the applications for registration made by the employment bureaus and agencies. Honorable Speaker, in addition to Section 54, provides for the recruitment for approval by the Interministerial Committee. And every employment bureau or agency shall be required to seek and obtain government approval prior to sending Kenyan citizens for employment outside Kenya and for employment of foreigners within Kenya. The applications for registration made are vetted by the Interministerial Committee established under Section 54A. The National Employment Authority is a state agency under the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection that is mandated to register and regulate private employment agencies in accordance with Section 54A to Section 60 of the Labor Institutions Act of 2007. The authority is the secretariat to the vetting committee. Honorable Speaker, the authority is also mandated to do the following in accordance with the National Employment Authority Act of 2016. 1, advise on formulation of employment policies and strategies for national and county governments. 2, facilitate the employment and placement of job seekers locally and internationally. 3, facilitate the implementation of national policies on employment. 4, collection, analysis, and dissemination of labor market information. 5, building the capacities of private employment agencies. 6, sensitizing job seekers. 7, handling complaints from job seekers. Then 8, promoting ethical recruitment. And 9, cancellation or revocation of license of an employment agency that fails to observe the provisions of the existing laws and regulations. On the second question, which was on how the Ministry of Labor works together with the State Department for Diaspora Affairs while ensuring that the State Department does not encroach on the roles of the Labor Ministry. Then the response is as following. The Ministry of Labor and Social Protection ensures that the procedures for labor migration are carried out in orderly and safe manner, and at the same time ensuring that migrant workers undergo pre-departure training and orientation. The ministry collaborates with the Directorate of Diaspora Affairs and the State Department of Diaspora Affairs in ensuring that migrant workers in distress are repatriated back to the country. In cases involving deaths or migrant workers, similar coordination is needed to assist bereaved families bring home bodies of their loved ones. Then, question 3 on why and how private recruitment agencies banned by the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection continue to recruit migrant workers. The National Employment Authority carries out impromptu inspections to ensure that recruitment agencies adhere to the laws and regulations governing their operations. Then recruitment agencies whose licenses are cancelled or suspended or blacklisted are not supposed to recruit migrant workers. All reported cases are dealt with in accordance with the law. The National Employment Authority also periodically publishes in the national dailies all private employment agencies that have been blacklisted and their operational licenses revoked. Honorable Speaker, most importantly, Kenyans are also advised to regularly visit the National Employment Authority website, www.neamis.go.ke, to ensure or to assess the list of registered private employment agencies and their current status. And I have attached, or rather, a statement the same document or response has been relayed to the Honorable Joshua Kadie. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Chair. Member for Baringo Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The only problem I have with this statement is that I happen to be among the delegates which went for the signing agreement with the German government in September, but I met some recruiting agencies which have been banned dining with mighty people in Germany. So this statement is in theory, but in practice we still continue seeing these banned recruitment agencies doing the business. So how will the ministry help us to make sure that our Kenyans are not exploited by these agencies?
Chair.
Thank you. While I consider the sentiments by the Honourable Member very, very, very important, I would appreciate if there is any supplementary information from the Honourable Member, now that he alleges that he was in Germany and he was in company with some recruitment agencies that have been banned or their license revoked. I would appreciate, as the Chair Committee on Labour, if more information was relayed to our committee for further action, because again, we have a duty and responsibility, Honourable Speaker, to protect the jobless Kenyans from being exploited by these recruitment agencies, because it has been happening for a long time, and it is time that this stopped and stops once and for all. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
I think, Honourable Chair, what Honourable Kandie is saying is that we are very good with theories on paper, but in practice we are not implementing. So I hope that this can be a continuous process. But Honourable Kandie, you also have a responsibility, if you have more information, to supply to the relevant committee to assist them in their work. I think any member can do that, and I think that will be settled at that point. The next one, before we go to Honourable Wanami Wamboka, there is a point of order from Honourable Yusuf Hassan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. I wanted to speak on a terrible disaster that has taken place in my neighborhood. Today is indeed a very dark day in Kamkunji. Last night we had a devastating